which, I mean, other postmoderns guys were talking about that, but he was talking about it in a new way. That theme was what I heard from Dave Worcester in the late 60s, early 70s. That's what was interesting. He looked like Worcester, and I thought he was the only guy carrying on whatever Dave was getting at. I mean, I had a very, personal projection into Baudrillard when I first encountered him. He looked like Worcester, and he talked about post-Rai, post-man situations, and that was pretty interesting to me. So I just want to put that on the record.
Yeah, it's fair. Like I read Baudrillard as having picked up more or less like at where Take to Today ends.
Yeah.
That's why I enjoy him. Is it's like he started reading McLuhan with from Cliche to Archetype, and pretty much just continued.
Yeah.
Where McLuhan put down. So.
And he comes out of political economy or sociological aspects of political economy, which is what the community that Take Today puts on.
Yes. Yeah, no, absolutely. But it's done really well. There's a very impersonal honesty to what he's doing.
Well, that's because he's a poet.
Yeah, and he reads like poetry.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's we're talking poetry leads perfectly into this. Is on page 8. It's just a couple of things. We'll just keep them sort of loose to start with. It's midway down the page. It says the possibility of metaphor is disappearing in every sphere. This is an aspect of a general tendency towards transsexuality which extends well beyond sex, affecting all disciplines as they lose their specificity and partake of a process of confusion and contagion, a viral loss of determinacy which is the prime event among all the new events that assail us.
Now, let me comment. I'm sure others have commented on the death of metaphor, which is obviously the death of visual space, of the signs that literacy and maybe even photography gave. Right? It's the abstract function of the mind to have an image. That image in the chemical body brain is no longer solid or a reference point. And what's interesting is that he writes in the late 70s, when he first sort of talks about McLuhan, that the medium is the message, but you can't interpret the medium as a message as as within the field of looking for determinate causes or looking for causality. And he's repeating that here, right? He's saying that the causes, you cannot find what's determining what in the linear cause and effect procedure or meme anymore. Is that what you get from that?
No, I get something different. I think he's actually working with metaphor in the sense of translating something into something else. And so he's talking about the basic act of either seeing through the lens or hearing through the something or the any kind of metaphor, not just visual space type situation. So it's that collapse of that capacity to translate and see something in something else, because it's all in this situation of the trans. Everything's partaking in everything, so it's not strictly a visual space thing.
Right, it's the collapse of all the mirrors. Now, the trans, as you would say it, as it means there, is hypertactility, hyper movement, or the movement would be the blur that you'd see before you perceive that it was tactile. Speeded up blur is the closest you can get to imaging what's happening. Now, if we talk about translating something into another, that's what I meant, I think. So, if you say it's more than visual, then acoustic metaphors, basically most human culture as metaphors, as symbolic situations that have meaning for people or stability, that's what's undermined.
All of them. In their totality, and that's why I think that's where he's getting at and because I think it's backed up in the other what was his phrase? Where he points out in the book where everything's sort of disappearing into what does he call it? The converging in a total flux type situation. So he's pointing to that. I guess what you call the android meme.
Yes, McLuhan definitely was pointing to that. But
yes,
he didn't get to write it. and Baudrillard picked it up and wrote what McLuhan was pointing at in his media pro-sufflation article in 1974.
Yep.
You know, the post-tactile. So it's, but McLuhan would say, we're becoming of the tactile interplay and it's hyper-speed up, or there's the kinetic speed around it, because we're moved post-tactile. So Baudrillard is trying to move to the post-tactile, or he sees the post-tactile, which is how I have it on my chart. The Croker quadrant is tactility squared, and that means the android being is taking over and being tactile. So it's hard for the human being even to come up with a response to that. Now here's the question.